of the plant body. First we will take the primary structure of root. Primary structures, in that primary structure of root or dicot root. For example, dicot root, we will take bean as an example. See, it has a ground plan. First we will see the ground plan. See, outermost layer is called rhizodermis. Rhizodermis or epiblema. Rhizodermis are called epiblema. Rhizodermis is always called epiblema. Next to that is a layer. This is endodermis. Inside the endodermis there is pericycle. And here we will have the xylem and phloem. So we will explain that in detail afterwards. So outside that there are outgrowths on the epidermis. They are called root hairs. This is cortex. Endodermis, pericycle, and this is xylem and phloem. So this is the ground plan which depicts or explains what are the parts present in the root dicot. We will see now a sector enlarged, a portion taken from here, and it is enlarged here to understand. This is a sector enlarged. A sector enlarged. See this part. This is rhizodermis. Rhizodermis is a single layer of tightly packed parenchyma cells. Rhizodermis is made up of single layer of tightly packed barrel-shaped parenchyma cells, and there is no intercellular spaces in between, and there is no cuticle. In the case of roots, cuticle is absent. Outside, in some cases, the outer wall of the rhizodermis is extended out to form an unicellular structure is called root hair. Now, as I said earlier, what is the function of root hair? Root hair absorbs water and mineral and supplies that to the rhizodermis, and from rhizodermis it is transported to the vascular system. So this is root hair, and here rhizodermis. You see, what is the function of rhizodermis? Rhizodermis has two functions. One is protection of inner tissue, another is involving in the absorption of water and mineral. So, how will we say that the rhizodermis is involved in the absorption of water and mineral? Because the structure present in the rhizodermis, that is root hair involved in that, and so we can take, or we can say that rhizodermis is involved in the absorption. So, this is the function. Next to that, inner side. As we said, a single layer, here too, single layer of barrel-shaped parenchyma cells arranged. You see this nature of this layer. This is single layer. What is the shape? Barrel shaped, arranged without intercellular spaces. See, we are very familiar with the word epidermis. Epi, outer, dermis, skin. So epidermis is the outer skin. Here in root, the epidermis is called rhizodermis. Since it is found in root, that is called rhizodermis. Epidermis, why do you call that epidermis? Epidermis, epi, outside, dermis, skin. So epidermis, that is in the case of root and, in the case of stem and leaves. But in the case of root, the same tissue is called rhizodermis. What is the reason? Rhizo means root. So this is the root, skin of the root. That is why it is called rhizodermis. And epidermis, this is another term for epidermis. Epidermis, the opposite word for epidermis is endodermis. So this is outer skin, this is inner skin. The meaning is that. So endodermis is the last layer of cortex. See, from rhizodermis, there is a mass of cells, parenchymatous mass of cells arranged, irregularly shaped cells arranged with intercellular spaces. This drawing can be extended to all sides. To save time, I have drawn only 2 layers. You see, the layers should not overlap with each other. So this is called the cortex. See, in case of root, cortex is made up of parenchymatous cells arranged with a lot of intercellular spaces, and they are variously shaped. Oval, spherical, like that. And what is the function of cortex? 2 functions. One is storage, another one is gases exchange, or here storage, and there are intercellular spaces. So gas can be transported from one place to another. And another thing, when water is absorbed by the root air, it becomes a place for conduction of water and mineral. So conduction and also storage. And endodermis, so as I said, endodermis is a single layer of parenchymatous cells compactly arranged without intercellular spaces. And you see in the, first let's draw the xylem, so that xylem and phloem. You see xylem at the center, metaxylem, towards the periphery, protoxylem. See, we already talked about the tissues, different types of tissues, protoxylem and metaxylem. See, these are 2 layered. See, in general, xylem should be drawn in this way. Outer thick wall, inner thin wall. This is xylem vessel. That way, you see xylem tissues here. Xylem. It goes like this. So it can be extended to all places. I draw only a single line here. This is protoxylem towards the periphery, protoxylem towards the center, metaxylem. And this is phloem. Phloem is made up of thin-walled cells. I think I need not draw these 3. And these are all the same condition as it is. This is phloem. See, endodermal cells. So we are talking about endodermal cells. The endodermal cells are having the tangential and radial walls of endodermis is having a thickening. This is radial wall, this is tangential wall. They are thick. And listen, this pattern of thickening, the endodermal cells in the radial wall and transverse wall are thickened. Radial wall and transverse walls are thickened, and these thickenings are called Casparian strip. These thickenings are called Casparian strips. You see, this is Casparian strip. What is the use of Casparian strip? Who found it out? So these Casparian strips are made up of suberin. Casparian strips are made up of suberin, and this was first observed by Caspary, and so the name was given. Casparian strips. And what is the use of, or what is the function of Casparian strips? See, if water enters absorbed by the root hair, enters and moves through the cortical cell and enters in the endodermis. See, the endodermal cells which are opposite to the protoxylem point. You see, this is metaxylem and this is protoxylem. And this is phloem, primary phloem. See, the water enters into the xylem tissues. Once the water enters into the xylem tissue, it should not return back. The Casparian strips which are found on the inner wall of the endodermis does not allow the re-entry of water from the vascular tissues to cortex. So the entry of water takes place through a special cell which are arranged, which are found on opposite to the protoxylem point. These cells are called, since they become the passage of water, from cortex to vascular tissue, these are called passage cells. These are called passage cells. So endodermal cell is a single layer of barrel-shaped parenchyma cells arranged tightly without intercellular spaces. In the radial and transverse walls, there is a band-like structure called a Casparian strip. The function of the Casparian strip is it does not allow the water to re-enter into the cortex, and the endodermal cell opposite to the protoxylem points are thin walled without Casparian strips. You see 4 points without Casparian strips. These are called passage cells. And see, the tissue here is epidermal. As I said, there are 3 types of tissue system. Here too you can see 3 types of tissue system: epidermal, fundamental and vascular. See, in the epidermal tissue system, rhizodermis and root hair. Fundamental, cortex and endodermis. In the vascular tissue system, we have pericycle, xylem and phloem. So the vascular tissue system here in this root consists of pericycle, xylem and phloem. I have not drawn pericycle. See, pericycle, what is pericycle? The pericycle is the outermost layer of the skin. Pericycle is the outermost layer of the skin. You see, pericycle is a single layer. Pericycle is made up of single layer of cell, single layer of parenchyma cells. So already we talked about pericycle. Pericycle is the first layer of skin. It is made up of single layer of parenchyma cells. And as I said earlier, the lateral roots originate from the pericycle, and so they are called endogenous in origin. and inside that there is a xylem and phloem. You see xylem, here xylem, what is the nature of the vascular bundle? We will see one by one. Vascular bundle. This is radial vascular bundle. Radial vascular bundle. What is radial vascular bundle? You see here. Radial vascular bundle. Xylem and phloem are arranged in different radii. That is called radial vascular bundle. And what is the nature of xylem? See, the nature of xylem is towards the periphery, protoxylem is towards the periphery, and metaxylem is towards the center. And so the xylem is exarch. Xylem is exarch. Now, how many protoxylem points are there? 4 protoxylem points. So again it is called tetraarch. So xylem is, the vascular bundle is radial vascular bundle, xylem is tetraarch exarch. Tetraarch exarch. Whether pith is present? No. So the DICOT root, there is no pith at all. So pith is not found. So if pith is there, that should come in the vascular tissue system. So actually in the ground tissue system, that is the intrastellar ground tissue. That can be named as intrastellar ground tissue. Now, one more thing is that xylem and phloem are connected by parenchymatous tissues. A tissue that separates xylem and phloem. Xylem tissue and phloem tissue, that is also made up of parenchymatous cells. These tissues are called conjunctive tissues. This conjunctive tissue, what is the conjunctive tissue in DICOT made of? Parenchymatous. Conjunctive tissue that is made of parenchymatous. So this is the anatomical features or internal structures or pattern of arrangement of epidermal fundamental vascular tissue in DICOT root. The same thing with a little difference is found in monocot. You will see the monocot root. And after seeing the monocot root, difference between DICOT and monocot root, then we will conclude. Structure of monocot root. This is, then we continues, monocot root. Example, maize. Example, maize. See ground plan, we take the ground plan. See ground plan, the same as it is in DICOT, but with the little differences. We know this is endodermis, pericycle, endodermis outside, next to that is pericycle. And see the difference. These are xylem vessels. These are xylem vessels. Metaxylem towards the center, protoxylem towards the periphery. You see in this case, metaxylem, protoxylem, see this. Protoxylem is towards the periphery, metaxylem is towards the center, that is called exarch. The same condition is found in the monocot also. This is metaxylem and this is protoxylem. And here is the center, at the center there is pith and at the periphery root hairs. Periphery root hairs. So we will see that these are root hairs. See in comparatively you can see some similarities in between DICOT and monocot root. At the meantime you can also see some differences. So we should see as they are roots, there will be some differences. So as they are root, there will be certain similarities. As they are one from dicot and another from monocot, there will be some differences. So the differences and similarities are there. Both similarities, differences. What are the similarities? Rhizodermis is a similarity, root hair is a similarity, cortex made up of only one type of cell, that is a similarity. Endodermis, presence of endodermis, Casparian stips and passage cells, xylem exon. These are all similarities, but there are differences. We will see that afterwards. And this root hair, this is a rhizodermis and the cortex, the endodermis, very same. See, for here I have drawn, these are 4 protocolum points, here are 5. When the number extends or goes beyond 4, we should not count the number. Here, we should not count the number. And at the center, this is the valid important point, fifth. You should remember this, fifth. We'll see the sector enlarged. Yes, sector enlarged. Sector enlarged. Epidermis. What is the epidermis of root called? Rhizodermis. Rhizodermis or epiplasma. Here too, the outer wall of the epidermis is extended to form root hair. This is called root hair. This is root hair. What is the function of root hair? Absorption of water and mineral from the soil and conducts it to the rhizodermis epiplasma, and the epiplasma is not covered by cuticle. Remember, in all underground part of the stem, cuticle is absent. In underground part of the stem, cuticle is absent. Aerial part of underground part of the plant, not stem, underground part of the plant, cuticle is absent. Aerial part of the plant, namely stem, leaf, flowers or anything, you can see cuticle. Cuticle is primarily an organ that checks transpiration. That is the part that checks transpiration. So here in the root, transpiration usually does not occur, and so cuticle is also not occurring. So this is endodermis. Endodermis, single layer, of parenchymal cells. See here pericycle, as I said earlier, pericycle is the first layer of steel. And here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are metaxylem vessels, and towards outside protoxylem. In between xylem patches, since it is a radial vascular bundle, you can see phloem. I think I need not draw. in all places. This is phloem in all places like this. And here the cortical cells, cortex, rhizodermis or epiblema. Then cortex, this is cortex. Cortex is made up of, as I said earlier, parenchyma cells with intercellular spaces. They are irregularly shaped, and the conduction and storage are the functions of that. Sometimes it may help in gases exchange. And you see the last layer of the cortex. Last layer of the cortex is endodermis. As I said, the endodermis, the radial and transverse wall of endodermis, radial and transverse walls of endodermis is thickened, and they are the radial and they are made up of suberin. They are made up of suberin. You see here these cells. Observe these cells. These cells do not have the Casparian strips. Other cells have Casparian strips. So, as we know already, the Casparian strips are made up of suberin. They do not allow the entry of water, re-entry of water from the cortex or from the xylem and phloem to the cortex. So, water once enter into the vascular tissue system, it should not re-enter, otherwise it cannot be conducted upside. So, these are endodermal cells, endodermis, and these are passage cells. So, as I said earlier, endodermal cells are made up of two kinds of cell, one with Casparian strip, another without Casparian strips. The cells of endodermis without Casparian strips are called passage cell. They allow the entry of water. They allow the entry of water from the cortex to the xylem. And next is this is the last layer of the cortex is called endodermis. Next that is steel. See the difference here. I have written epidermal tissue system, fundamental tissue system, vascular tissue system. Here too the same way. Epidermal tissue system. It is made up of rhizodermis, root hairs. Your fundamental tissue system or ground tissue system is made up of cortex and pith. Cortex, endodermis, pith is coming outwards. Then vascular tissue system, that is now made up of pericycle, vascular tissues, namely xylem and phloem, then pith at the center. You see 1, 2, 3 there, only 2. See, pith is at the center. You see, this is here, pith is made up of parenchymal cells with or without intercellular spaces. It goes like this in all sides. See here, these are the parenchyma cells. I have taken this side, not all sides. Parenchyma cells are filling all the places. Pith radiates towards the outside. Now, this is protoxylem. This is metaxylem. And the protoxylem, metaxylem, and this is phloem. And the protoxylem, metaxylem and phloem, xylem and phloem are lying in different radii. These are all primary structures, primary tissues, primary vascular tissues. Why do we call this the protoxylem? See, xylem and phloem together as primary tissues. We are studying the primary structure. These are produced during primary growth. They are produced during primary growth. And so, here we should call these are primary protoxylem, primary metaxylem and primary phloem. So, this is called primary vascular tissue. Primary vascular tissue. So, at the center there is pith. At the center there is pith. See the differences between monocot and dicot root. What are the differences? In xylem, see there are, as I said, there are certain common points and also there are certain contrary points. Common points, in both cases, protoxylem points are exarch. Protoxylem points are exarch. And another points, xylem and phloem in both cases are arranged in different radii. So this is radial vascular bundle. So the vascular bundle, the vascular tissues are radial arrangement. Xylem and phloem are in radial arrangement. One. Point number two, protoxylem points are facing towards the periphery. So that is exarch. Protoxylem towards the periphery, metaxylem towards the center. That is, these are the similar points. But actually, the similar points, since they become root, there will be certain similar points. And one more thing. So we talked about similar points, leave that, and the presence of endodermis, presence of pericycle, presence of casearian strips, presence of caseal cells, these are all common. Let's now see the differences. What are the differences? Before that, there is one more point. The tissue that lies in between xylem and phloem. What do we call that? That is called conjunctive tissue. As I said in that point, conjunctive. Here, the conjunctive tissue is made up of sclerenchyma cells. This is one of the differences. So, this is the entire structure. And now see in dicot root, monocot root, the differences. What are the differences? See xylem, tetraarch. Xylem tetraarch, 4 points. And xylem here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We should not say pentarch. As I said, when the number goes beyond 4, we should say poly. So, not pentarch. Xylem is polyarch. Xylem polyarch. Very important point. Then conjunctive tissue in dicot is parenchymatous. What is the conjunctive tissue in dicot is made up of parenchymatous tissues, and the conjunctive tissue in monocot is made up of sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma tissues. And pith. In dicot, no pith, or we can say absent. And here we have pith. An extensive pith is present at the center, and the function of pith is generally it is made up of parenchyma cells. And so its function is storage. So these are the differences. One more difference is there, that is a fourth point. The difference between dicot monocot root. The secondary growth takes place in dicot root. Secondary growth present here. Secondary, fourth point, secondary growth absent. See, before concluding this, I should tell about the primary and secondary growth. So we will deal about the secondary growth after completing all the primary structures. So there are dicot stem, monocot stem, and leaves are there. And what is primary growth? What is secondary growth? Primary growth. See, when you take the development of a seed, the first formed root is called first formed root, embryonic root, and first formed cell, plumule and radicle. Plumule, first formed shoot, radicle, first formed root. Plumule grows and produces apical meristem. There are three types of meristem. Meristem based on location, that is meristem. This is actually an concluding point. Meristem. Meristem is apical, intercalary and lateral. There are three types of meristem based on the location. Apical meristem is responsible for primary growth. So we are talking about the primary structures. Where from the primary structures are produced? From the apical meristem. Apical meristem is the primary meristem. Apical meristem is responsible for all this growth, development of all this growth. And so this structure is called primary structure, and the xylem and phloem found in that are called primary xylem and primary phloem. So when once the primary growth is completed, the elongation or lengthwise growth is stopped. Afterwards, secondary growth takes place. Secondary growth is a growth in increase in the thickness of the plant. That happens because of the secondary meristem which is produced afterwards. When the primary growth is completed, secondary growth takes place, and for the secondary growth, cambium, newly formed cambium, that is secondary cambium, becomes responsible. This apical, intercalary, lateral meristem are coming under primary cambium, and these are all not found here, but apical meristem is responsible for the apical meristem, intercalary meristem, lateral meristem. They are responsible for primary growth, especially apical meristem. This structure is produced from the apical meristem. During secondary growth, secondary structures are formed. Secondary xylem, secondary phloem, they are formed afterwards. So we will discuss about those secondary structures afterwards. So this is all about the internal structure of monocot and dicot root.